Ringed Giant, The Planet Saturn by Nancy Lowen. Illustrated by Jeff Yesh. All ears. The man knew he had created something special. It was a device made of magnifying lenses that made faraway objects appear closer. He called it a telescope. But when the man looked through the telescope, he saw something odd. He didn't know what to think. He saw a planet, but strange shapes stuck out on both sides. They looked like ears. The year was 1610. The man was an Italian astronomer named Galileo Galilei. He was the first person to view the planet Saturn through a telescope. A ringed beauty. In the years that followed, telescopes improved. In 1659, a Dutch astronomer named Christian Huygens solved Saturn's mystery. The planet didn't have ears. It had rings. For many years, people thought Saturn was the only planet in our solar system with rings. Now, we know that 3 other planets, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, also have rings. But Saturn's rings are the brightest and easiest to see. Fun fact: Saturn has been known since ancient times. It was named after the Roman god of agriculture, or farming. Saturn's place in space. Of our solar system's 8 planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun. Its nearest neighbors are Jupiter and Uranus. Saturn orbits the Sun in an oval-shaped path. On average, it is almost 10 times farther away from the Sun than Earth is. Fun fact: Saturn is the 2nd largest planet after Jupiter. Its diameter is 10 times bigger than Earth's diameter. Editor's note: in this illustration, the distances between planets are not to scale. In reality, the distances between the outer planets are much greater than the distances between the inner planets. Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. A gas giant. Saturn is one of the gas giant planets. Other gas giants include Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. These planets don't have a solid rocky surface like Earth does. They are made mostly of gas. Saturn's outer layers are made mostly of a gas called hydrogen. These outer layers push inward toward the planet's center. The gas is pressed together more and more tightly the nearer it is to the center. The gas gets so tightly pressed that it turns into liquid. Fun fact: even though Saturn is large, it is the least dense of the planets. In a giant pool of water, it would float. A windy planet. Saturn has very strong winds. They can reach speeds greater than 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers per hour. The winds blow parallel or even to the planet's equator, the imaginary line around a planet's middle. The wide strips of wind are called belts and zones. Scientists have seen white ovals in Saturn's atmosphere. These ovals are probably hurricane-like storms. Fun fact: Saturn is tilted on its axis. The tilt gives Saturn its 4 seasons. As Saturn orbits the Sun, some areas of the planet receive more light than others. Days and years. All planets spin or rotate on an axis. One complete turn is called a day. A day on Saturn lasts a little less than 11 Earth hours. A year is the amount of time a planet takes to complete its orbit around the Sun. Because Saturn is farther from the Sun than Earth is, its year is much longer. A year on Saturn lasts a little more than 29 Earth years. Fun fact: Saturn bulges at the middle and is slightly flattened at its north and south poles. This bulging is due to the planet's fast rotation. Rings around the planet. Viewed through a telescope, Saturn's rings look solid, but they're not. They're actually made of billions of pieces of ice and rock. Some of the pieces are as small as a grain of sand. Others are the size of a house. The pieces of ice and rock orbit together in thin rings. These rings then group together to form larger rings. Fun fact: Saturn's rings are thousands of miles wide, but they are only about half a mile, 0.8 kilometers, thick. The gaps between the rings are about 2,000 miles, 3,200 kilometers wide. Many moons. Rings aren't Saturn's only friends in space. The planet also has at least 56 moons, and probably many more. Many scientists believe that Saturn's rings are the remains of old moons. The moons may have been shattered by rocks flying through space, or they may have orbited too close to the planet and been broken apart by Saturn's gravity. Fun fact: Saturn's largest moon is called Titan. It's bigger than the planet Mercury. In our solar system, only one other moon is larger: Jupiter's Ganymede. Studying Saturn. In 1997, scientists from the United States, Europe, and Italy launched the Cassini-Huygens spacecraft. It reached Saturn in 2004. The spacecraft remains in orbit there. New information about Saturn is reaching us all of the time. For example, in 2006, scientists learned of a faint ring that had never been seen before. Who knows what we'll discover next? Fun fact: some U.S. spacecraft have flown safely through Saturn's rings.